We had one more game that we were at. Friday night, Dr. Phillips taking on Apopka. A late push from DP would not be enough, and Apopka would hold on for a 50-48 win. Apopka stays undefeated in district play and remains at the top of the 7A District 3 standings, with Dr. Phillips just behind them.
So great game by Apopka. A lot of great action last week. I was really surprised by the way Eustis has been playing, not only last week but all season, going 3-0 last week. They've been really one of the surprise teams this year. What were the stats?
Yeah, they're hot so far. No, how about Wildwood beating Mount Verde's varsity team? We saw Wildwood in the Sun Bash, and they impressed me a lot there, don't get me wrong, but beating Mount Verde's varsity team, that's really something.
Still a huge win.
Yeah, we'll see how they can close out the season and, you know, keep that momentum going.
So we'll see how it goes, man. A lot of great stuff last week, even more better stuff this week. So stay tuned to the game day, Gonzo's Top 5. We see you.
Yes, sir. It's all coming.
All the shows all coming this week here on myGSPN. But that'll be our show for today. We'd like to thank our sponsors, GardenGrocery.com.
If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocery.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
All right, guys. Once again, I'm Ricky Sabarito.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you for joining us here on myGSPN's Recap, where, as you know, it's your sports, all you, all the time. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to myGSPN's Double Take. I'm Ricky Sabarito.
And I'm Will Sabarito. Of course, let's thank the sponsors, Garden Grocer and UDiscover Florida.
In today's episode, guys, we are going to be previewing the 5A state title matchup of Jones High School versus Northwestern. But before we get into that, make sure you guys check out our post. We are giving a PlayStation 4 away, so make sure you enter for your chance to win.
Now, guys, Jones is looking to capture their first state title in school history. They absolutely deserve to be in this game. They had a phenomenal season, going 13-1.
And that one loss was to Edgewater, who, of course, is playing in the 7A state championship this week. They had a big win over Apopka earlier in the year, winning 21-12, who, of course, is playing in the 8A state title. It was after that Apopka game that they kicked the season into another gear. In the final 4 regular season games, they outscored opponents 201-16. They cruised through the playoffs, beating Bishop Moore, Nature Coast Tech, and Vanguard, winning by multiple possessions in all of those games. That set up a matchup with Wakulla in the state semifinals, where Jones was up 21-6 late. Wakulla ended up making a comeback, scoring a touchdown in the 4th to make it 21-20, but they missed the extra point, and Jones held on to win, sending them to the state championship game. Now, a couple notable players to watch out for in this one for Jones. We got senior running back Avarius Sparrow. He rushed for over 2,000 yards and 24 touchdowns. They also have junior quarterback Tyson Robbins, who has 22 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions.
Now, Jones will have their hands full as they face a 12-2 Northwestern team that is loaded with experience. They're the back-to-back state champs. Talent is not an issue either with this team, as they have D1 prospects all over the field. You got Romello Brinson, a 4-star wide receiver. You got Terrence Lewis, the number 2 linebacker in the 2021 class. And newcomer Teron Dickens, a freshman quarterback, has 25 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions on the season. What a matchup here, Rick. We got the back-to-back state title champs going against a team who has never won the title in school history.
It's a perfect underdog story. And you know what, Will? I'm going with the underdog Jones. They have the entire city of Orlando backing them. It's basically going to be a home game for them.
Yes, I've seen them play a couple times this year. They're ready to go. They are motivated. I'm going to take Jones as well for the upset. Cannot wait to see the game. But, guys, that'll do it for the show today. Of course, let's thank the sponsors.
Garden Grocer, if you are staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with Garden Grocer. And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscover Florida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
Now, guys, before we sign off, make sure you enter to win that PlayStation 4. It's holiday season. You don't want to miss out on that. But that'll do it. Again, I'm Ricky Sabarito.
And I'm Will Sabarito.
And as you know, it is your sports.
All you, all the time.
a legend. Now tell me what's my next stage game. I said the champ is here, Swiss gears.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's episode of myGSPN's Recap. I am Will Saborito, and of course, let's thank the sponsors, Garden Grocer and our newest sponsor, Tulumi Digital Marketing. Now, last night I was out at a great game between Windermere and Dr. Phillips. Both teams came in with the same record of 14-6. However, Windermere came in hot, winning 11 of their last 13 games, and Dr. Phillips, on the other hand, just 6-5 in their last 11 games. I was expecting Windermere to come in with a lot of momentum, but that was not the case at all. Dr. Phillips dominated in every aspect of this game. They opened up with a 20-6 lead and did not look back. At halftime, DP maintained a commanding 45-30 lead. Windermere really struggled to get any momentum going on offense besides junior point guard Trey Moss, who finished with 25 points. The story of the game was Dr. Phillips putting on an absolute three-point clinic. Senior guard Abdoulaye Thiam had 25 points and 5 three-pointers, and sophomore guard Denzel Aberdeen finished with 23 points as well as 5 three-pointers. By the end of the third, this game was over. Dr. Phillips was up by 29 points, and they would go on to win the game 86-58. Dr. Phillips travels to Ocoee on Friday night, and Windermere looks to bounce back against Edgewater also on Friday night. Buckeyes, that's the show for today. Let's go ahead and thank the sponsors.
Garden Grocer, if you are staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with Garden Grocer. Also, UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscover Florida or udiscoverflorida.com.
Once again, guys, I'm Will Saborito. Thank you for tuning in today. As you know, it's your sports, all you, all the time.
stop dreaming.
Jack Klinger. Tonight here at Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium, number 5, Cameron James. For Pasta, Peter Fitzlear.
two sport athletes like Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson. And I mean, watching them and watching like E60s, 30s on them, I just thought it was fun at a young age. It's like, I thought it was like pretty cool that they were able to manage both sports and able to like excel at both sports.
And
so I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, making that transition was always easy for me because I've been doing it since a young age. So this year, during the football season, most people don't know I was up baseball field hitting under the lights because we have a cage where it has lights. So it would be days like after a game or after practice, late at night, I'll go around back and flip on the switch and hit under the lights with my dad. Like, so I enjoy it. Yeah.
Know that's a must like Eli, man. They was saying I was spinning, you was saying I'm counting up green like a pea pie, man. I was holding down my team like my name was Peyton. Make sure my brother good Eli, man. Cartier's got diamonds all in the middle like a pulled up with 3 eyes, man. Just know them stay all GI, man.
Having the coaches on the same page was a big thing for me going there. I mean, talking to Coach Muschamp, he was like, after the bowl game, baseball is yours. And after baseball, I'm lifting for the fall, summer. But them being on the same page was definitely a big reason why I went there. There's a lot of people that don't expect a lot from us, but we have a lot of stuff to do this year.
Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
For sure.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chris Gonzalez, and welcome back to Gonzo's Top 5 Plays here on myGSPN. This show is brought to you guys by our beautiful sponsors, GardenGrocer.com and AMP Sports Performance. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. Now, we have the top 5 plays from this past week and from last night's game compiled up. But before we get into all the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports, and make sure to like and share this video. Now, guys, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's go ahead and get into the top 5 plays, starting off with the number 5 play coming at you from the Dr. Phillips versus West Orange boys lacrosse game. West Orange's Kevin Langley is in the post. He's going to spin off his man, split 2 defenders, and finish it with a bounce shot at the net. Coming in at number 4, we have Seminoles' Fat Cleveland in his bag versus Ocoee. Hits him with the cross and the step back 3 from NBA range. Making its way into the lineup at number 3. Again from that Dr. Phillips versus West Orange boys lacrosse game. This time it's Dr. Phillips' Mason Considine with 2 defenders all over him. He fights through the contact and hits the tough shot with no angle. I don't know how he did this one. Coming in at the number 2 play this week, and Isaac, I need you to put the camera back on me because this play was going one of 2 ways. Roll the clip. Trey Moss is going to go up and try to put him on a poster, but Roderick Henry meets him at the rim and sends it right back. And finally, guys, at the number 1 play of the week, this is coming from the girls lacrosse game, Dr. Phillips versus West Orange. It's West Orange's Caroline McCarthy. She rolls around the crease, and check out the nasty backhand shot around the goalie and the defender into the net for the goal for the Lady Warriors. Come on now, Caroline. I told you didn't have to do her like that. You just made the number 1 spot on this week's Top 5. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to everybody else that made the list this week. That's our show for today, guys. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and this has been another edition of Gonzo's Top 5 Plays here on myGSPN. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time. We have scores, highlights, and updates. Welcome back to myGSPN Recap. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you guys for tuning back in to myGSPN Recap, where we talk high school sports.
And as you know, this show is brought to you by GardenGrocery.com and You Discover Florida.
That's right, Anthony. And we got a very exciting show for you guys today, highlighting the games that Anthony and I attended last night, high school basketball. But before we get into all the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports.
Yep.
But without further ado, Anthony, you were over at Lake Highland Prep last night. Go ahead and tell them about that game against Montverde.
It was a huge game, two of the best teams in the state.
Girls game.
The damn nation.
Girls game,
The girls
yeah.
are out there, man, and they showed out. Montverde beat Lake Highland Prep a few weeks ago, so this is a big revenge game for Lake Highland Prep.
Right.
The Highlanders came out on fire and took the lead early in the game, and they didn't look back. They locked down on defense and got the huge 65-51 win versus the Eagles at home. Zenora Cruz led the Highlanders in scoring with 18 points, and sophomore Nyla Harris also played huge, winning the game MVP presented by Southern Nutrition in Claremont. Shout out to Southern Nutrition. She finished with 16 points. Alicia Carter also had a big game for the Highlanders, knocking down a few huge three-pointers in the win. Lake Highland Prep is off to a big start in 2020. They've been 3-0 so far this year, man. They've beat some of the best teams in the state, number 2 American Heritage, number 3 Montverde Academy, and number 11 St. Thomas Aquinas. So they're off to a big start in 2020. Can't wait to see how they finish the whole year, man.
Yeah, man, the Highlanders look like they're coming out strong, definitely, to start off the season.
For sure.
A little bit through the midway point of the season already, but great game there. The game that I was at last night, I was over at Dr. Phillips High School for the Class 7A District 3 matchup between the Panthers and the West Orange Warriors. Now, the game tipped off at 7:30 and was back and forth from the very tip-off. West Orange was able to hold a slim lead throughout the first half of the game behind Mike McAllister and freshman Jalen DeBosa's play. Now, by halftime, West Orange had a 32-26 lead, but a commanding third quarter by Dr. Phillips where they outscored the Warriors 23-11 to bring them into command in this one. The fourth quarter, the game came down to the wire, but Dr. Phillips did enough to take home the close win, 63-58. Now, the Panthers were led by a very impressive scoring performance by sophomore guard Denzel Aberdeen, who finished with 22 points in the game. He led all scorers. The young man was scoring at will all night last night, and West Orange didn't have an answer for him. Abdullah Team, he added 14, and Janu and Seti, he dropped in 13. I'm sorry if I butchered either of you guys' name there. In Dr. Phillips' win, and the Panthers improved to 11-4 and remain the top seed in that district. Their next game is going to be on Friday night on the road against Apopka, who's also 11-4 on the year. West Orange was led by Mike McAllister's double-double. He had 16 points, 11 rebounds last night as the Warriors fall to 8-6 on the year. They're not going to be facing Edgewater on Monday night at home. Both teams looked impressive to me last night, man, and a very outstanding performance there by Denzel Aberdeen for Dr. Phillips. He was literally just taking off last night.
Yeah, both teams, Dr. Phillips and the game I went to Lake Highland, both teams took off at home, got the home win, defended home court, and then the big players stepped up, just like you said. So big games for those two. What about tonight? You going to what tonight? Or
Tonight,
anything?
I'm going to be actually heading out to Central Florida Christian Academy. They're going to be taking on Wildwood at home. And for you, Anthony, where are you going to be at, man?
I'll be at the big matchup between Evans and Oak Ridge, down at Oak Ridge. Both teams are coming off a loss, so see who gets to win
That
this
gym is
one.
going to be packed tonight, man. That's going to be a huge
Both
game.
of them will be some big, huge
Two of the
games.
top teams in Central Florida facing off tonight at Oak Ridge High School. If you guys are in the area for either of these two games, man, go ahead and pop out. Say what's up. We'd love to see all you out there. But, Anthony, that's our show for today. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocery.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocery.com.
And also You Discover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at YouDiscoverFlorida or YouDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you all for tuning back in to myGSPN's recap. As always here, it's your sports, all you, all the time. Good afternoon, guys. Chris Gonzalez here, and welcome back to myGSPN Recap, where we talk high school lacrosse. This show is brought to you guys by our sponsors, GardenGrocery.com and AMP Sports Performance. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. Now, guys, before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports and, without a doubt, the hottest coverage in high school lacrosse. But on Tuesday night, I was actually out at Lake Highland Prep watching the defending state champions for the first time this season. They were taking on their rival, Bishop Moore, and my God, Lake Highland came into this game undefeated, and they definitely showed us why. The Highlanders were in control of this game from the very opening draw, led by their high-powered offense. They were able to stay in control of this game throughout the very end. Lake Highland spread the love in this game, and 8 different ladies scored goals for the Highlanders. Jacqueline Jaskowitz led all scorers with 5 goals and 2 assists. Sophomore Kate Hanlon had herself a hat trick with 3 goals. Ashley Thurston played point guard for the Highlanders with 4 assists. Olivia Adamson notched in 2 goals and 3 assists. And Sarah Picorni scored 2 goals on 5 shots on goal. The Highlanders controlled the ball on offense for the majority of the game, but Bishop Moore made it count when they were able to get in scoring position as well. The Hornets were led by Kate Piscopo with 3 goals and Julian Lozano with 2. Final score of the night was Lake Highland 16 and Bishop Moore 7. I was very excited to get a first look at Lake Highland last night in this game, especially against such a big rival in Bishop Moore. Bishop Moore is one of the stronger teams in the Orlando area as well. But just to give you guys a little bit of idea of how strong Highland is, here's just some of their commits so far. Ashley Thurston, she's going to be going to Stanford to play lacrosse. Sarah Picorni to the University of Denver. Olivia Adamson at Syracuse. You have Reagan and Riley Alexander, the twins, going to Ohio State. And Jackie Norsworthy is committed to the University of Florida. So they have an absolute stacked lineup of Division I talent on this team right here. And it's going to be very exciting to see them in that Florida versus Maryland showcase next weekend. That's our show for today, though, guys. We'd like to go ahead and thank our sponsors one more time, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and thank you guys for tuning back in to myGSPN's Lacrosse Recap. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chris Gonzalez.
I'm Anthony Coleman.
And I'm Will Sabarito.
And thank you guys for tuning in to myGSPN Game Day, where we talk high school basketball.
And as you guys know, the show is brought to you by GardenGrocer.com and AMP Sports Performance.
That's right, Anthony. And we have a very exciting show for the people today.
Yes,
talking about, we're going to the boys regional basketball playoffs tonight.
Playoff time.
3 separate games tonight. And we're going to be giving you guys a heads up of where we're going to be at. But before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports. But Will, where are you going to be at tonight, my man?
We got Osceola taking on Windermere. Now, these teams are very familiar with each other. Osceola beat Windermere in the regular season by 10 points, and Windermere beat Osceola 46-43 to win the district title. Also, both teams have a lot of playoff experience. Windermere, this is their 2nd district title in a row, and they went to the Final Four last season. Osceola went to states last season. I'm sorry, they won states last season. I'm going to take Windermere tonight, though. They beat them in the districts. They're the home team. I think they got a lot of momentum going. Taking the Wolverines.
Yeah, although Osceola did go deep and win state last year, I got Windermere getting the win out of this too. They've been playing great, and I see Trey Miles going off and getting them to the next round.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to have to agree with both of you guys. Another big thing for Windermere tonight is going to be that home court advantage. Right. You guys already have seen how they bring out what the crowd
those
that they bring
students
out.
go crazy over there.
And, but absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and take Windermere in the opening round for tonight for that game. Anthony, what game are you going to be at tonight, man?
It's going to be another big matchup at District 7A. It would be the rematch from the 7A District 5 championship between Oak Ridge and Lake Nona. Last Friday, Lake Nona got the close 50-49 win versus the Pioneers after a game-winning layup by Jalen Harper with less than 3 seconds left, man. It was crazy. Jalen led the Lions in scoring that game with 20 points, and Andre Cooper also played big with 18. Now, this is probably one of the biggest games of the playoffs in the first round with the big matchup between Oak Ridge and Lake Nona. It's going to be good to see Andre Cooper and Jalen Harper, the seniors, taking on the juniors, Mike James and Jalen Smith from Oak Ridge. But I got Oak Ridge getting the revenge winning this one. They've been playing really good this year. Even though Lake Nona has home court, I got Oak Ridge getting the win.
Yeah, I mean, there was a really close game, even though Lake Nona had home court in the districts. It was still a 1-point game, but I'm going to take Lake Nona. They've won 7 in a row. They're the home team. I'm going Lake Nona.
I'm going to have to agree with Anthony on this one. I think Oak Ridge is going to come in. They're going to come in with revenge on their mind, chip on the shoulder. And we've seen them play when they're playing on all cylinders.
Yes.
And them boys are hard to stop. Them boys are definitely hard to stop. But I have Oak Ridge on the road taking that one tonight at Lake Nona. Now, guys, last game for us tonight is going to be the Dr. Phillips taking on Evans. Dr. Phillips is coming off a very hard-fought win against Ocoee in the 7A3 district title game to secure that district championship in arguably the most competitive district in the state. So the Panthers have a head of steam heading into regionals. Abdullah Thiem played lights out in that game, dropping 31 points against Ocoee, and the duo of Denzel Aberdeen and Ernest Uday Jr. were a force to be messed with all tournament long. The last time that we saw Evans in action was in the district quarterfinals against West Orange, where they took a hefty loss. They had plenty of time to rest up since then, especially with the uncertainty of making it to regionals this year. They were having to wait on some teams to lose to bump them in, but the Trojans could be a sleeper in this year's playoffs if they can make it through this hot DP team tonight. This is familiar territory for the Trojans. Last season, they made it to the state Final Four and have returners from last year on this team. They're going to need some big play, especially from their senior leaders, Collis Griffin, Deshaun Osborne, and Tristan Curry to stack up against West Orange's young core that they have there behind, especially Denzel Aberdeen and Ernest Uday, both sophomores. The last 2 times that these two teams faced off, Dr. Phillips took the win by 2 points. Hopefully, we're going to have another close game on our hands tonight. I'm taking DP tonight. I think they're going to go ahead and pull off the win at home.
Although you say it may be close, I don't think it's going to be too much close at all. Maybe 10 points, but I got DP getting the win also.
Yeah, DP, they're 7-1 in their last games, including a win over Evans. They're also the home team. I'm taking DP big.
All right, well, those are our picks. Those are our predictions for tonight. A lot of great basketball, and a lot of great basketball outside of these 3 games as well. Make sure you guys stay tuned for score updates, highlights on all of our social media handles. But that is our show for today. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez.
I'm Anthony Coleman.
And I'm Will Sabarito.
And thank you guys for tuning back in to myGSPN Game Day, where as always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of myGSPN Game Day. As you know, my name is Anthony Coleman.
And I'm Ricky Sabarito. Of course, let's thank our sponsors, Garden Grocer and Tulumi Digital Marketing.
Yes, sir. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media to stay up to date with all of our high school sports action. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Please follow and subscribe to everything that we have going on. But today, a lot of great basketball actions going on. Ricky, what's going on today, man?
Yeah, so our guys, Will and Gonzo, they're going to be out at Windermere High School for their senior night. They're going to be hosting Haggerty, so we'll have highlights of that. I'm going to be out at Lake Nona High School. They are hosting the West Orange Warriors. Now, West Orange comes in at 15-9. They are riding a 5-game win streak coming into this game. A few players I'm going to have my eye on tonight for the Warriors are Mike McAllister. He's a junior, averaging 17 points per game and 10 rebounds a game. And they got a freshman, Jalen DeBose. As only a freshman, he's averaging 10 points per game, which is second best on the team. He is definitely a player that I'm going to be watching out for down the road, Anthony. Now, Lake Nona, they come in at 17-5. They're on a win streak as well, winning 3 games in a row. It is a big night for the Lake Nona Lions, as it is also their senior night. Jalen Harper, the captain on the team, and Andre Cooper, who's also a standout on the football team, are 2 seniors that I expect to have big games for their home crowd one last time. Anthony, this is obviously one of the last games of the year, which means that we have districts coming up on Monday. Lake Nona is the 2 seed going into the 7A District 5 tournament, so they got a first round bye. West Orange, they play in one of the most stacked districts in the state, which is 7A District 3. They currently sit as a 4 seed, which is very respectable. They're going to take on the 5 seed Evans High School Monday night.
So I heard that is a district of death, so I can't wait to see that action on Monday. But for that game, I think West Orange might come in and get the win on the road. What about you, man?
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going Warriors. I'm going Warriors.
Warriors, we see, have the win with that one. Like a lot of district play for the boys is starting on Monday. But I will be at a district matchup for the girls tonight. Dr. Phillips for the 7A District 3 semifinals. Here we have the #1 seed, the Apopka Blue Daughters, will be taking on Okoye. They both played each other in early December, and Apopka got the big win against the Knights, 73-39. Merrick McMillan led the way for the Blue Daughters with 24 points, and Helani Catone played great with 15. So let's see if Okoye can contain these two and pick up the big upset win. Tip-off is at 6 o'clock for that one. Also, after that, Dr. Phillips will be taking on the West Orange Warriors. West Orange dominated the first game against DP, winning by 23 points. So it'll be interesting to see if DP can get the revenge and get the win at home versus West Orange. Okoye and West Orange really need these upset wins to keep their hopes alive for the state tournament. So we'll see what can happen. The West Orange boys and the girls have two big games tonight. So let's see if the Warriors can get 2 wins tonight, man.
Yes, sir. I think so. We'll see what happens.
So tip-off starts at 6 o'clock for the Apopka game and 7:30 for the rest of the boys and the girls games tonight. Stay tuned for updates, highlights, and everything from all those great actions. But Ricky, that's our show for today.
That's going to do it. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors one more time.
If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
All right, guys. Thank you once again for joining us on myGSPN's Game Day. Again, I'm Ricky Sabarito.
I'm Anthony Coleman.
And as you know, it is your sports, all you, all the time.
Good afternoon, guys. Chris Gonzalez here, and welcome to our first installment of Beyond the Locker Room. This man sitting right next to me today has been training Central Florida talent for longer than most of you guys have actually been alive. His alumni includes, but is not limited to, NFL stars such as Chicago Bears defensive back HaHa Clinton Dix, Carl Joseph of the Oakland Raiders, and former Tennessee Titan running back Chris Johnson. He is the CEO and founder of Excel Speed Training and will be teaming up with FBU to put on the 21st annual Central Florida All-Star Game this Thursday night. The one and only, the legend, Coach Lowe.
How you feel? Fire up! How you feel? Fire up! Let me get 1, 2, 3.
I'm feeling good, man. Thanks for having me.
Good. Thank you for coming on the show, man. So we're here today to talk about and promote this very special event, the 21st annual Central Florida All-Star Game. Can you tell us a little about the game's roots and how it kind of started up?
Well, the game kind of started up just from a company called Camaraderie Family. And they had a kid that pretty much didn't have an opportunity to play in the All-Star game. So they ended up sponsoring their own All-Star game. And so for their kid to have an opportunity to play in the game. And it kind of went on ever since then. And now this game now has been going on for like 21 years. This is the 21st year of the game. And now we're excited to continue this game and hope to do it for another 21 years.
That's right. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of exposure and what this is going to mean to the kids? I mean, you guys have a lot of college coaches coming out. A lot of schools are going to be in attendance for this game here.
Oh, yes. And matter of fact, I was just on the phone with the University of Citadel today, Tennessee Tech, Mercyhurst, Ava Marie, and University of Mary, saying how they want to come down and take advantage of some of this Florida talent. This is one of the biggest games in Central Florida, actually one of the biggest games in Florida. They're giving colleges like Division II, Division III, NAIA, junior colleges, and some FCS can come to the practice, get a chance to see some of the Florida talent. Some of the top players in Central Florida going to have a chance to be seen in front of college scouts. Some kids have been, we call them sleepers. And when they are a sleeper, that means they sleeping. They can't be found. Right. Well, this game give them a chance to wake up. Give them a chance to be in front of college scouts. Show what they can do. Anywhere from a 2A to 3 or 4A schools, all the way to competing against 6, 7, and 8A. So you get to show your stuff against larger class athletes, right. And that give them a chance to get college scholarships.
Right. And what was the selection process as far as like picking the athletes that are going to be attending the game, that are going to be competing?
Well, what separates this game from any game is the selection process. We're the only pretty much high school game that actually the coaches pick the players. Right. They pick them from character. They pick them from their grades. They pick them from their work ethic, their hard work, their leadership, being a captain on the team. They nominate them to us. Then we'll go talk to different sports reporters and get their opinion on what kids should play in the game and what makes it even more unique. We take kids from each team from 8 counties that we pick kids from 8 counties. Wow. And we try to pick no more than 1 to 2, maybe 3 kids from each team, depending on how good they are, right. How many top athletes they have.
Right. Okay. Now, another big thing that we stress, what are the sleepers? Who are some kids in this game that you feel like are going to be some of the top dogs in that game on Thursday night?
Oh, man, I can tell you right away. Dylan Ruiz from Osceola, the defensive end, amazing kid, great athlete, had an opportunity training him when he was younger. I mean, had 4 sacks in one game in the playoffs, no offers from a Division I or even Division I AA school, and he, definitely deserved that. We got Dylan Gonzalez from Lake Mary. Wow. Went from cornerback to safety to wide receiver to slot special team. Had a couple schools looking at it, and all of a sudden, it's kind of fizzled out from there. Right. The number one guy I know is a sleeper. I don't know if you remember Wes Welker in the NFL, one of the best slot receivers in the business. Right. Dylan Gonzalez. Dylan Brazo. Excuse me. Dylan Brazo. From Bishop Moore. Oh my gosh. Yes, this kid here plays bigger than anything. I call him the little giant. Right. Because he can jump over 6 feet, 6'2", 6'3" players and come down with a touchdown. Right. Especially against teams like the team that's in the state championship, Jones High School. He prevailed no matter what happened or what the score was. So these are the type of kids that will get opportunity to be seen by the Citadels and the Tennessee Tech and so on the school. Other schools to get opportunity to get a scholarship.
Right. Now, you had actually some players from Edgewater, Apopka, and Jones that were going to be playing in this game on Thursday. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make it due to being in the state title games. What were some of the transfers? You guys have some reserves that have stepped in for their places?
Yeah, it's matter of fact, we looked at that. We're saying, what are we going to do now? You have 3 schools from Central Florida area playing the state championship game. That's huge. So when you got to replace Isaiah Conley, what are you going to do? Who's going to take this guy here play? So we had Keandre McGlory out of Lake Minneola, who had a great year.
Right, one of the leading rushers in Florida.
Right. So, that's huge to have him in the game. Devin Cole, a huge opportunity to have Devin Cole in the game come out of Lake Minneola. And then we add a couple of kids that were replacing kids from Apopka. We had a chance to put it in the game. We had I want to say Griffin, Ken Griffin Jr.'s son, is not Trey. I thought this is right to my tongue right there. But the Griffin son, he's there, and he's going to play in the game for us. So we're excited about having him in the game from Dr. Phillips.
Awesome.
So he replaced a couple guys.
A lot of these kids are also going to be at your 7-on-7 tryouts at the Campbell World Stadium. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Well, what's great about that is, there's kids that want to have the opportunity of getting better, on their skills or work on their craft, and the 7-on-7 brings that. Right. Like, for instance, Edgewater, you got Tommy Hill, you have Chris Leary, you have Kanan Mobley from Edgewater. Them guys have been in 7-on-7 since they were 12 years old, and now they're at the state championship. You have Ricky Smith from Jones High School. You have Anthony Rucker from Jones High School. Jalen Robbins from Jones High School. These guys play on the same 7-on-7. Look at them, state championship. Along with Anthony Fielding, Eric Wright, 7-on-7. So all these kids that play 7-on-7 took their skills to the next level, compete against kids all over the world. They're actually playing the state championship, so 7-on-7 can propel their game.
Right. And which Central Florida school would you say impressed you the most this year?
Man, I tell you, it's hard to say. When people say who going to the state championship, when you mention Apopka, you were like, this is what they do. They go to state. But everyone counted them out because of the coach was gone. Their general, their leader is gone. So what we do now? Well, they rally around a new coach, Coach Rosen. And he, in my opinion, sleeper. I call him a sleeper coach because he always been coaching for years and years and years. But he took that team from a loss against Booker T in the first game of the season, and now he's going to be the state championship. And to my opinion, have the best chance to actually win it based on the team that they're all playing.
Right, out of the 3 schools.
It's hard to call Apopka a sleeper, but I got to say Apopka is the team that surprised me, based on the coach leaving. In the general league, what happens.
Absolutely. Now, last question about this game this weekend. Who are you picking to take the dub?
I got all 3.
All 3?
I think Apopka going to roll and do what Blue Darters do.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think all 3 have a shot.
Right.
I really try to do it because Apopka going to roll. That's what Apopka do. This is not nothing new to them. This is what their expectation to be a state champion. Maybe I'm being a little biased coming from Apopka. I'm an alumni. My son played there.
Right.
But I like them. Jones, Tigers, they hunt. That's what they do, and they're in the hunt to win it.
And this is the first in school history for them. They got that hype coming around that.
Not only just the hype, they got the people and the fan and community behind Jones. Right. That's one thing they do. They represent their school, and they back them out 110%.
Right.
But all in all, Eagle pride.
Yes, sir.
Them Eagles. Last year losing to Lakeland, wake-up call right there. Now you see the grind and the drive that they have. San Antonio Kwame lost against Lakeland. I see them losing against the Eagles too.
That's right.
So I like all three.
Edgewater came in and smacked Armwood in that, that last one.
And that set the tone. Wouldn't you agree? That set the tone.
Yeah, that was a shocker for me. I was expecting Edgewater to win. I was not expecting Edgewater to win like that.
You know what? On that game there, I call it great coaching.
Amen.
I mean, you know, that was a game I thought coaching and Coach Duke did a great job. I thought that was a game where coaching prevailed in that game there, to my opinion.
Okay. And then, as far as the All-Star game,
Yes.
who do you have winning that one?
Man, I tell you, the East really put it on them.
Right.
Put them on last year.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't even a contest. McMillan from Daytona Beach was just phenomenal last year. This year, in the Central All-Star game that we're having December 12th at Lake Branton at 7:30, line up the best of the best. We got the Louisville boys like Dexter Rentz and Lovett Jeeks on that side. You got Ty Portman throwing the ball. You got Tyson Mullen catching the ball. I mean, I have to say this year, the West takes it all.
The West takes it all?
The West takes it all.
All right, West Side Orlando, you guys heard it here first. Once again, guys, this has been Coach Lowood, and we will see you guys on Thursday night at Lake Brantley High School. Thank you for joining us today, Coach.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. We have the scores, highlights, and updates from the Boys District Championships. Welcome back to myGSPN Recap. Good afternoon, guys, and happy Monday. I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you guys for tuning back into myGSPN Recap, where we talk high school sports.
And as you know, this show is brought to you by GardenGrocery.com and our brand new sponsor, AMP Sports Performance. Brand new gym in Claremont, amazing atmosphere, amazing trainers, everything. Check out their social media or check their website at trainingAMP.com.
Yeah, man. And we have a very exciting show for you guys today, highlighting the Boys District Championships from this past Friday night for basketball. But before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports. But Anthony, man, take us through some of the area scores from this past weekend.
Man, I'm going to kick things off with 2A District 10. CFCA got the close 54-49 victory over Mount Doran Christian Academy. Nicholas Silva led the way with 17 points and 6 rebounds for CFCA. Raleigh Kruger also did a little bit of everything with 12 points, 7 assists, and 5 steals.
Yeah, man, Nick and Riley have been going off for CFCA all season. The times that we've got to see them play, they've been the top 2 scorers as well. So big shout out to them, and they're looking for another chance to get it back into the state title game this year.
Back to the state, started with a district championship, so we didn't get a state one coming out of there.
Right.
And now for 4A District 7, Lake Highland Prep got the big 82-58 win over Eustis. Eustis has been playing great, but Lake Highland Prep has been on a roll lately, and they got the big win over them.
That's right.
5A District 5, Jones got the 57-48 win over Leesburg. This is Jones' first district championship in 9 years, man. Shakir Poteet, who has really been shining for Jones the whole season, led the way for them again with 18 points. Big game by Shakir, big year by him.
Huge year by him, and I mean, even last year we got to see him over the summer, and his game has really evolved a lot from last season. And him taking Jones that far, man, it's going to be insane to see what they can do deeper into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I'm excited
with
to
that
see
home
it.
court advantage now.
It's going to be really exciting to see, man.
It's going to be very exciting to see there.
Now, going over to 7A, we got a lot of action in 7A, but we're going to start things in District 2. Seminole has been playing lights out this year, got the 67-61 win over host Spruce Creek. Football stud O'Shea Baker led the way for them with 17 points, and of course, the Darren Cleveland did his thing with 16.
Huge game by Seminoles duo right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now for District 4, Timber Creek got the close 68-56 win over Haggerty. Timber Creek had balanced scoring all around. 5 of their players scored in double figures, with Dylan Holloman leading the way for them with 16 points. And probably in one of the biggest games, biggest upsets, Lake Nona got the close win over Oak Ridge, man. We're going to take this to the video. Jalen Harper goes for the tough layup with less than 3 seconds left, drops the bucket, tries to throw it in, but couldn't get anything. Lake Nona got the close win there, man. That was crazy.
Big time upset, but good news for these teams is they get to see each other one more time in the first round of regionals.
Is that good news for them?
It's going to be good news for somebody.
For somebody.
It's going to be good news for somebody, because I know Oak Ridge is coming back with a chip on their shoulder over Lake Nona, but Lake Nona, you guys have to keep that intensity riding this win there. So that's gonna be a crazy rematch right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Can't wait to see how that one plays out. And shout out to Coach Brian for the video on that one. And in 7-8 District 6, Windermere got the close 46-43 win over defending 7-8 District State champions, Osceola. But stay tuned to Double Take to see the full breakdown of that exciting game.
That's right. I'll let Will and Ricky kind of talk about that one a little bit more, man.
Man.
But we were actually at that 7A District 3, the District of Death.
District of Death, man.
Championship match between Dr. Phillips and Ocoee. At the end of the night, it was Dr. Phillips who came up with a close win over the Knights on Friday night with a final score of 58-56. Ocoee dominated this one out the gate. After one quarter of play, the Knights led 15-4, and they kept that same energy throughout halftime, where Ocoee held a 10-point lead. But the story of the night, Anthony, was Abdoulaye Thiam's third quarter for Dr. Phillips. DP went into halftime trailing 29-19, but a huge third quarter scoring surge by Thiam, where he scored 19 points in that quarter alone and brought the Panthers right back into this game. He was pulling up from NBA range. He could not be stopped in that third quarter. Ocoee and Dr. Phillips battled back and forth in the fourth. Ocoee's David Green did all he could in the fourth quarter. He really kept Ocoee in reach of this game, scoring 17 fourth quarter points for the Knights. But when the clock hit zero, it was Dr. Phillips hoisting that 7A3 District of Death trophy. Abdoulaye Thiam finished leading all scorers with 31 points, and Denzel Aberdeen added in 14 in Dr. Phillips' win. The Panthers snapped Ocoee's 12-game win streak, and the Knights were led by Hofstra commit David Green with his 25-point performance, and Cordell Brown also added in 12 points for the Knights. We had the opportunity to catch up with Abdoulaye and Dr. Phillips head coach Ben Witherspoon after their hard-fought victory. Here's what they had to say.
It means everything. It's incredible, because we've talked about this from day one, from the day I got the job. And our first day, we sat in the classroom, and I just wanted to hear from them and ask them, what are you guys' goals? And district championship came out over and over again. Especially, with the district we had, that's a huge goal. Right. Our district is the best in the state without question. So we're not taking this for granted at all. We didn't have to be here. Like, Ocoee's a great team, Evans is a great team, West Orange is a great team. We have, Apopka's a great team. Everybody in our district it can beat anybody. So it's just super thankful.
We just have to bring out that fire. Ocoee is a good school. It's a good team. So they play super hard. So we had to pick out the key details, like getting rebounds, getting stops like that. That was basically the key details. No, not offense, not none of that. Right. We had to get stops, all that.
Right, and then when you started getting the hot hand, man, it was like you could not miss. Can you just kind of take me through what your mindset was out there?
Oh, yeah, I feel good. That's what I do. I mean, I'm a shooter shoots.
But yeah, man, very hard-fought win game for both of these teams here. Our predictions were pretty much right. You did pick Dr. Phillips. I picked Ocoee to win, but we did say it was going to be a very, very close game. Now both of these teams are going to be heading off into the regional tournament. 5 teams, actually, from that 7A District 3. You have Evans, West Orange, Apopka, and these 2 teams that are going to be moving on to regionals. So that's going to be insane to see how these state playoffs are going to be playing out.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. Going back to that game, it was amazing. One of the best games that we both seen and been through. The environment, everything was wild. Absolutely. But I just want to go back, take a look at this play by Denzel Aberdeen. He, as you see here, gets to steal, saves it from inbounds, dribbles down the court, puts on one of the best moves I see, a little sauce, and then behind the back, and knocks down for the 3. Oh, my God. I had to tell his dad. I was like, listen, what, how? Did you see this? Pops, look.
Yeah, and bro. I was actually sitting right next to you when that happened, man. I couldn't contain myself. I was so excited when that happened, man.
It was wild, but I've been really impressed by Denzel and the way Abdoulaye came in there. They were playing really aggressive, not really forcing anything, because there's a difference between forcing and being aggressive. They were really aggressive, but smart shots, smart, simple shots. And the way they came back and got that win, I can't wait to see how they can do now in the regional playoffs, and then even with Ocoee, with them having that tough loss, how they can bounce back in the playoffs too. So I'm excited for all the playoff action, but more of the 7A, because a lot of teams that we've covered, a lot of teams that the District of Death are going to be in there. So it's going to be amazing,
so
man.
Another District of Death matchup in regionals. Round 1 is going to be Dr. Phillips taking on Evans. So that's going to be another big-time game for the 2 district opponents right there. And for Ocoee, they're actually going to have to travel to Mandarin and Jacksonville. So those are the next 2 games for those 2 teams. Stay up to date. We're going to keep you guys up with the scores and updates, especially from this 7A. There's a lot of teams that we cover primarily in the 7A class. But yeah, guys, that's going to be awesome. Those games are going to be on Thursday. But that's going to be our show for today. We're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you guys for tuning back into my GSPN recap. As always, you guys know it's your sports,
All you,
all the time. We have the top 5 plays from the district championship games. Welcome back to Gonzo's Top 5 Plays. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chris Gonzalez, and welcome back to Gonzo's Top 5 Plays here on myGSPN. As always, you guys know the show is brought to you by our beautiful sponsors, GardenGrocer.com, and our brand new sponsor, AMP Sports Performance. We would like to thank you guys for everything that you do for us here. We have a very exciting show for you guys today, though, covering the top 5 plays from this past week's district championships. But before we go into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the top 5 plays. Starting off with number 5, we have Cordell Brown in the Ocoee versus Dr. Phillips game. He gets the steal, and in transition, he's going to finish it at the rim with a man breathing down his neck. No pressure there for Cordell. Coming to you at number 4, we have Windermere taking on Osceola, and it's Jaden Golston with the board. He tosses it up to Trey Moss, and check out the no-look pass to the corner to Kanye Jones, who knocks it down for the Wolverines. Making its way into the lineup at number 3, this is from that Dr. Phillips Ocoee game, and my man Abdoulaye Thiam was feeling himself in the third quarter, hits him with a jab step, and then pulls up with confidence from NBA range and knocks down the three-pointer. Coming in at number 2, it's Ocoee's David Green in his bag here, shuffles around and knocks down the contested three-pointer over a defender. And finally, guys, at the number 1 spot, it's Dr. Phillips' Denzel Aberdeen with the hustle play on defense. He's going to take it up court, go behind the back, pull out his moves.com package, and my God, he knocks down that big-time three-pointer for the Panthers. Him and Abdoulaye went off in that game, combining for 45 points for Dr. Phillips. And as you guys saw, they were on a lot of these top 5 plays here today. That Ocoee Dr. Phillips game was an instant classic, as you guys can see. But guys, that is our show for today. Want to go ahead and first off congratulate everybody who made it on the top 5 play of this list. But we would also like to thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscover Florida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and thank you guys for tuning back in to Gonzo's Top 5 Plays here on myGSPN. You guys know it's always your sports, all you, all the time.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's episode of myGSPN's Game Day. I'm Will Savarito.
And I'm Ricky Savarito. Of course, let's thank our sponsors, Garden Grocer and UDiscover Florida.
Now, tonight we're going to a big conference game. We got Dr. Phillips taking on Apopka. Dr. Phillips comes in at 11-4. Now, they are 3-3 in their last 6 games, but they are coming off a big win over West Orange. Denzel Aberdeen dropped 22 points to lead DP, and they are second in the district at 3-1 currently.
And then you have Apopka, who's also 11-4. We watched Apopka beat Edgewater Wednesday night, which improved their conference record to 3-0, which puts big implications on tonight's game. If Apopka wins, they extend to 4-0 and really solidify themselves in first place. They will look to keep that momentum going. Of course, junior John Lattimore led the Blue Darters Wednesday night with 16 points. And then really impressive freshman Cameron James had 13 points for Apopka. He also had that nasty alley-oop dunk. So definitely 2 players to keep an eye on there. But guys, we will be there tonight. We'll definitely have highlights for you later this week, so stay tuned. But that is going to do it for today. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors one more time.
Garden Grocer, if you are staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with Garden Grocer. And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscover Florida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
Once again, guys, I'm Will Savarito.
And I'm Ricky Savarito.
And as you guys know, it's your sports, all you, all the time. What's going on, guys? Welcome to myGSPN's recap show. I am Will Sabarito, and of course, let's thank the sponsors, Garden Grocer and Amped Sports Performance. Now, last night, I was out at a district matchup between Ocoee and Windermere. It was my first softball game this season, and it did not disappoint. Ocoee looking to bounce back after some recent losses, and Windermere looking to stay hot as they are 7-1 on the season. Now, Faith Campapiano got the start, sorry if I butchered that name, and she was dealing for the Wolverines. She had a handful of strikeouts on the day and was able to contain Ocoee's offense. Windermere, however, did not waste any time on offense. In the bottom of the first, a lead-off triple started things off for Furman commit Chrissy Fleming. She would end up scoring on an error later that ending, and then Natalia Velez ended up scoring on an error as well, making it 2-0 Windermere in the first. In the bottom of the third, three-hole hitter Holly Heath is up to bat with a runner on third base, and she ropes one to left for an RBI single, making it 3-0 Windermere. The Wolverines will get 2 more runs on some hard-hit ground balls to make it 5-0. In the top of the fourth, Ocoee has runners on first and third, no outs. A ground ball would score 1 run to make it 5-1. Later in the inning, Ari Bosch makes a nice diving stop with runners in scoring position to save a run and end the inning. In the bottom of the fifth, Ari Bosch would have an RBI single to left, scoring 1, making it 6-1 Windermere. So in the top of the sixth, Ocoee is down 5 runs and running out of time. With runners on first and second and just 1 out, Windermere would turn a very nice 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. Windermere would add 1 run in the bottom of the sixth to make it 7-1, which brings us to the top of the 7th inning, and Ocoee needs 6 runs or the game is over. With runners on first and second, a liner to right would end up falling and should have loaded the bases, but there is chaos on the base pass and Ocoee ends up running into an out. Instead of having the bases loaded, they surrender a runner, and that would pretty much do it. 7-2 would be the final. Ocoee falls to 3-4 on the year. They play Tavares on Thursday. Windermere improves to 8-1, and they play East Ridge on Thursday. All right, guys, that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, let's thank the sponsors one more time.
If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
Once again, guys, I'm Will Sabarito, and as you know, it's your sports, all you, all the time.
Good afternoon, guys. Chris Gonzalez here, and welcome back to myGSPN Game Day, where we talk high school lacrosse. This show is brought to you guys by AMP Sports Performance, our beautiful sponsors. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. And before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports. And you already know it's the hottest coverage with high school lacrosse. But guys, I'm going to be out tonight at Eastridge High School watching the Knights take on an undefeated Celebration team. Now, listen to these stats really quick on these two lady lacrosse phenoms. Celebration 4-0 on the season. They have outscored their opponent so far 74-15 on the year. Eastridge, on the other hand, looking to defend the home field advantage. They are coming in at 5-1 on the year. They have outscored their opponents 108-22. Let me take you guys through what that kind of looks like. Leesburg, Eastridge defeated them 18-1. Lake Mary Prep, Eastridge won 24-3. Against Dr. Phillips, the Lady Knights took the win 19-0. Flagler Palm Coast, the Knights beat them 18-6. Forest won 20-2, and they just took their first loss of the season in a very close nail-biter against a very well-coached Oviedo team, 10-9. This game should be absolutely insane. You guys already know it's going to be a shootout. I'll see you guys there tonight. That's our show for today. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and this has been myGSPN Game Day, where we talk high school lacrosse. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time. What's going on, guys? Chris Gonzalez here, and welcome back to myGSPN Game Day, where we talk high school baseball. This show is brought to you guys by AMP Sports Performance, our beautiful sponsors. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. And before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports, and without a doubt, the hottest coverage in high school baseball. And make sure to like and share this video. But guys, Will is going to be out at Eastridge tonight for a big-time baseball matchup between the Knights and the Windermere Wolverines. Windermere looking to bounce back after taking a loss to Olympia earlier this week, and Eastridge is going to be looking to stay hot. They have a 6-2 record so far this year, and they are currently undefeated at home at 4-0. So they're going to be looking to defend that home field record tonight against Windermere. Opening pitch is at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you guys out there. But guys, that's our show for today. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and this has been myGSPN's Baseball Game Day. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time. Good afternoon, guys. Chris Gonzalez here, and welcome back to myGSPN's Recap, where we talk high school lacrosse. This show is brought to you guys by our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com and AMP Sports Performance. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. And before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school lacrosse. Now, guys, last night I was out at East Ridge High School for the lacrosse game between the Knights and the Celebration Storm. Celebration came into this game undefeated at 5-0, and East Ridge with just one loss on the season. I was expecting a shootout last night, and these two teams did not disappoint. Celebration will find themselves on the board first on a goal by Aaron Balbonton, but East Ridge would waste no time at all getting their offense in rhythm. A trio of goals by Marissa Gollum and Bella Mims, who, by the way, were on fire last night for the Knights, would put East Ridge up 3-1. After closing the gap down to a one-goal game, East Ridge took off on a big run, eventually finding themselves up 8-2, and by halftime the score was 9-3. The Knights kept up their relentless attack in the second half. The story of the night undoubtedly was the duo of junior Marissa Gollum and sophomore attack Bella Mims. The two combined for 11 of East Ridge's goals last night as the Knights gave Celebration their first loss of the year. East Ridge wins it 14-8 to advance to 7-1 on the year, and their next game is going to be on Thursday night on the road against crosstown rival Lake Mineola. Celebration drops to 5-1 on the year after suffering their first loss. They were led last night by Erin Balbonton. She had 5 goals, and they're going to be looking to bounce back against Winter Haven. That game is going to be tonight. Guys, last night, Bella Mims and Marissa Gollum. Gollum had 6 goals. Bella Mims had 5. They played outstanding, lights out for East Ridge in that big-time win over there. Looking forward to see them in action later this year. Another story of the night was Cornell commit Vivian Spencer for Celebration. She was in the goal last night. She played outstanding. I mean, despite the loss, despite the 14 goals scored against her, she had some nasty saves. Full highlights of that game are up on our YouTube page. Make sure you guys go ahead and like and subscribe to that. But that is our show for today. We want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. You're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez, and thank you guys for tuning back in to myGSPN Recap. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to myGSPN's Recap Show. I am Will Sabarito, and of course, thank the sponsors Garden Grocer and AMP Sports Performance. Now, last Friday, I was out at a district matchup between Windermere and East Ridge. Now, East Ridge came out swinging. In the bottom of the first, they already had the bases loaded with no outs, and David Parker up to plate. He would open things up with a 2-run single to make it 2-0 East Ridge. In the same inning, an error by the shortstop would score another run for East Ridge, and then still in the bottom of the first, John Ball up to plate. He would single to center, but an error by the center fielder scores 2 more runs for East Ridge, making it 5-0 in the first. In the top of the third, Windermere would score a run on a pass ball with 2 outs, making it 5-1, but in the bottom of the third, East Ridge had themselves an inning. Owen Flynn would get pulled for Windermere, and here we are again with the bases loaded, no outs, and an error by the second baseman on a double play attempt would score another run for East Ridge. Still with the bases loaded, John Ball up to the plate again, and single to the left would score another run. He had a nice game at the plate. Still in the bottom of the third, Jake Hayden up to bat, and a single to right would score another run, making it 8-1 East Ridge. Jelani Rogers got in on the action as well. He would have a sac fly, scoring 1 more run for East Ridge. They actually would get 2 more runs on a couple of errors by Windermere in the inning, and East Ridge, just like that, scored 6 runs in the bottom of the third to make it a 10-run game, which is significant because it brings the 10-run rule into play. So here we are in the 5th. Windermere is down 10, and they need 1 run or the game is over. With 1 man on, East Ridge attempts to turn 2. The runner at first is safe. However, the umpire called runner interference, which turns this into a double play. Just like that, there are 2 outs for Windermere, and a fly out to right field would end the game. 11-1 is the final in favor of East Ridge. East Ridge improves to 7-2 on the season, and they play IMG tonight. Windermere falls to 3-5 on the season, and they will play Dr. Phillips on Wednesday. All right, guys, that's the show for today. Let's go ahead and thank the sponsors one more time.
If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscoverFlorida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
Once again, guys, I am Will Savarito, and thanks for tuning in today. As you know, it's your sports, all you, all the time.
Something.
Now up, number 6, Maddie Wicker.
Summer travel the President's Cup, sir?
To East Ridge High School, thank the Celebration High School Storm for traveling to Duncan.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our recap show. I am Will Saborito, and let's thank the sponsors. Garden Grocer, and Amped Sports Performance. Now, Tuesday, me and Rick attended our first baseball game of the entire season, and it was a good one that came down to the wire. Now, Southlake was starting Ethan Davenport on the mound, who is just a freshman, and Eustis was able to jump on him early with a sac fly to left field, and they even scored another run in the first inning thanks to an RBI double to take the 2-0 lead. In the top of the second, Southlake has runners on first and third, no outs, and they get a sac fly to get on the board for their first time, and later in the same inning, AJ Schaefer is up with runners in scoring position, and it's a dribbler, but an error by Eustis allows the runner to score and tie the game 2-2. They did get the runner out at second, and the inning is over. In the bottom of the second, Southlake pulls their starting pitcher, and number 22, Robert Tracy, takes the mound with runners on first and second. Ronnie Harper for Eustis hits a double to left, scoring 2 runners, giving Eustis a 4-2 lead. Now, there was no scoring in the third or fourth innings, but a couple of nice double plays by Southlake kept them in the game, which brings us to the top of the fifth, which was a huge inning for the Eagles. An error by Eustis allows for a run to score, making it 4-3, and later in the inning, runners on first and third with 1 out, and another error by Eustis allows the runner from third to score, and the game is now tied 4-4. Still in the fifth inning, Logan Peterson for Southlake hits an RBI double to left field, and Southlake takes the lead 5-4. Now here we are in the bottom of the sixth. Eustis is still down 5-4, and time is running out, but Neil Cook steps up to the plate with 1 runner on base, and with 2 strikes, Cook hits a missile to left field, and there was no doubt about this one. It took this ball all of 2 seconds to get out, and just like that, Eustis takes the lead 6-5 going into the final inning. In the top of the seventh, Southlake has one last chance. They have a runner on second base with 2 outs. They need this run to tie the game, but a mental error on the base pass for Southlake as the runner gets stranded in no man's land after a pickoff, and the game would end like this. Eustis wins 6-5. Tough loss for Southlake, but a huge win for Eustis to start their season. But that's it for this game, guys. The season is just getting started. Stay tuned as we will have coverage and highlights all season long. But before I let you go, let's thank the sponsors.
If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com.
And also UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a new restaurant, hotel, or attraction, check them out on Instagram at UDiscover Florida or UDiscoverFlorida.com.
Once again, I'm Will Saborito, and as you know, it's your sports, all you, all the time.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you guys for tuning in to myGSPN's playoff preview. We're going to be breaking down the 2020 basketball playoffs.
And as you guys know, the show is brought to you by GardenGrocery.com and AMP Sports Performance.
That's right, Anthony. And we have a very exciting show for the people today, highlighting 1A through 6A in the boys basketball playoff system here. But before we get into the action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you are following us along on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date with everything that we have going on here in the hottest coverage in high school sports. And as you guys can see, we are dressed for the occasion today, talking about a little playoff preview, baby. But Anthony, let's go ahead and get things started. Let's talk about some 1A. I see you got some stats here about Wildwood, man.
Yeah, Wildwood has been one of the top teams in 1A, let alone the whole state all year, and they are led by Ole Miss commit Marcus Nyblack. Marcus led the Wildcats to the state championship last year, but lost by just 2 points in overtime to Madison County. Now, Madison County has been looking great so far this year again, and they come in at 20-5. The Cowboys have really been on fire to start the postseason, defeating the last 3 opponents by an average of 26 points. Madison County and Wildwood both have tough games today, but if they win, I can definitely see a rematch between Wildwood and Madison County for the 1A state championship. Let's see if they can survive the tough test that they have tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would love to see those two teams battle it out. Last year at the state championship game, that game was absolutely insane, and it was such a heartbreak to see it finish off the way that it did.
Yeah.
Pretty poor officiating, in my personal opinion. Kind of cheated out Wildwood out of an opportunity to really compete for the state title game, because they probably could have went into double overtime at that point.
Oh yeah, it could have went either way
if it wasn't for that. But Madison County did get the state title last year, and it's going to be very exciting if these two teams, like you said, can go ahead and face that rematch this year.
For sure.
2A, we're looking tonight at Orlando Christian Prep taking on Mount Dora Christian Academy. Now, Mount Dora Christian Academy actually just fell to Central Florida Christian Academy in their first loss of the season. CFCA is going to be taking on Lake Mary Prep, and Schoolhouse Prep is going to be taking on Lake Worth Christian. Now, OCP, coming in with a 25-2 record, is ranked number 1 in Class 2A, and after destroying the First Academy by, get this, Anthony, 51 points in the first round, OCP is easily one of the favorites to win the state championship this year. North Florida Educational Institute and Schoolhouse Prep are also two favorites to win it all. And let's not forget Lake Mary Prep and last year's state champions, Central Florida Christian Academy, who will be facing off tonight. So that's definitely going to be one of the top games to look out for.
Man, it's going to be a lot of great action starting that 2A, especially with tonight with Lake Mary Prep and CFCA.
Right.
I have CFCA being the defending champions, one of the sleepers to come out of there and possibly take it, maybe get the states or get back to the Final Four that they were last year.
Absolutely, because Riley Kugel and Nick Silva have been playing absolutely lights out for the
balling
team.
out, man.
And Jordan Priester's little brother, Juwan Priester, from last year, one of their top players in the state championship team last year as well. So CFCA, I really think that they can go ahead and make it back, possibly repeat this year.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see tonight.
We shall see.
Now let's jump over to 3A with Santa Fe Catholic, who leads the way with the #1 overall seed, and they have one of the best records in the state at 26-2, and they are led by seniors Javon Bell and the high flyer Joe Stubbs.
Joe Stubbs, my man.
Now we also have Westminster Academy. Now Westminster Academy is also a favorite to win the state championship, seeing how they won the last 3A state championships. It's going to be pretty interesting to see their run for their 4th state championship with a whole new class and without professional scorer Gonzo, one of your favorite players, man.
Chase Johnson, man. My boy's been out there at Stetson right now doing his thing. I caught up with him at the Montfort Academy Invitational earlier this year. He told me he's been doing pretty well. So It was good seeing him there, but that's going to be a big loss for Westminster.
Oh, yeah, huge,
He's
man,
a walking
huge.
30 piece pretty much, but we got a chance to see Westminster at the Mate this year, and they still look pretty solid, man. It's going to be interesting to see what they can cook up this year for sure.
Oh yeah, still have a pretty good team, so see if they can make another
Right.
deep push. Another good team over there in 3A, Masters Academy, who I see as another good sleeper.
Masters Academy, brand new team, man, and they were killing it last time we were able to see them play as well.
Oh yeah, they actually won the bracket in the Mount Verde Academy tournament too. So they've been doing really good, but they have a really, really tough test tonight against Windermere Prep, who's also been playing great. So I see whoever the winner of that could be making some noise.
Right, absolutely. Now, Masters Academy, again, they're doing absolutely insane, but Windermere Prep is one of those teams that you really, really got to watch out for. They have a lot of size, and they have a great system that they run over there, too.
Yeah, they're
We
huge.
got a chance to see them earlier this year against Lake Mineola, and they absolutely drug them.
Yeah.
So,
definitely two of the top teams coming up. So
absolutely, Windermere
great
Prep.
game.
Shout out there, man. Take a look at 4A. We have Tampa Catholic coming in at the #1 seed in 4A, but a few teams are going to be looking to make a serious run at the state championship, including Paxton, who made some big noise over at that Sunbash tournament earlier this year. They are led by UCF commit Isaiah Adams, an absolute dog. You also have Lake Highland Prep, who's led by Victor Brown Jr., the 2020 FACA 4A District Player of the Year for the third straight year, and the defending 5A state champions, University Sharks, and the defending 6A champions, the Stranahan Mighty Dragons. Let's not forget Lakewood and Villages Charter. My goodness,
Nice
4A is going to be one of the hardest classes to get through, one of the most competitive.
Yes,
Dude,
man.
the reclassifications have been insane this year, especially with the new scoring system too.
They
Dude,
definitely stacked 4A with two of the two defending state championships,
Right.
State champions in there. Lakewood was in the state champion push last year,
Right.
and the Villages too. So a lot of teams who are in the Final Four or even made the state championship are going to be back again, all in 4A. I can't wait to see
That's
who makes the
gonna
push
be
out of there.
freaking crazy, my guy. That is going to be absolutely crazy. Anthony, 5A, we have Pembroke Pines Charter. They are the #1 ranked team, but comes in as the 5 seed. They have a very tough game tonight in the #1 seed in Region 4, the Northeast Hurricanes. I'm expecting them to go ahead and pull that win out in that game. Clearwater and Choctaw are two other teams that are favorited to possibly win the championship, but look out for Leesburg, Jones, and Land O'Lakes to surprise a few teams as well. The matchup between Mackay Perry from Land O'Lakes and Shakur Petit from Jones is going to be probably one of the best player matchups of this round, and I cannot wait to see who comes up on top.
Yeah, I was looking at a lot of the team matchups are going to be, of course, a lot of the teams playing, but Shakur has really been doing a lot of things
Right.
this year, a lot of things, leading Jones, and then Mackay for Land O'Lakes. Two very good crafty guards, knows how to go in, get buckets, and then spread the ball around to the other teammates. So I can't wait for that matchup. That's going to be two of the best players.
I really like the transition from Shakur. Last year he was with Edgewater. This year he's with Jones. And I feel like the system has kind of been fitting him a little bit better at Jones. He's been able to facilitate a little bit more and kind of take control of the game when he needs to. And, you know, as we've seen, when he does that, it's very successful. So
yes, it's been really
very,
good to see.
very good. And finally, Anthony, 6A, man.
In 6A, Bartow is, of course, the #1 ranked team in 6A with an incredible 26-1 record so far this year. East Lake is led by one of the top players in the state, Deontay Blanche, who is one of the top candidates to win Mr. Basketball this season, the best basketball player in Florida. And let's not sleep on Fort Myers either, with Javon McCollum running the point, and football star big man Caden Baker, who's committed to UNC.
Yeah, man, big Caden Baker. We had a chance to see a lot of these teams play at the Prep Hoop Sunbash. I'm liking the way that East Lake looks this year, man. They have the big three, those three scorers that can put up however many points they really want to per game, man. But East Lake is going to be tough to beat in that one. But you do got to watch out for Fort Myers as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure, too. I think they have more of an overall team. Like I said, East Lake's big three is really something to mess with, especially with Deontay, possibly one of the best players in the state, leading all three of them, too. They have a lot of three-point shooters, so expect a lot of shots, a lot of buckets, especially from Deontay.
Right.
I think they'll probably make a deep push. I don't want to say win state, but with Fort Myers and the other teams we have, Bartow, who's really surprised a lot of teams as a #1 team. It's going to be interesting for 6A to see who comes out of there, too.
It's going to be interesting for all of these classes. And now this is the regional semifinals. So after this, regional championships, and then we're moving on to Lakeland for the Final Four and the state title games. Now, guys, stay tuned on our social medias for more updates of the 2020 basketball playoff brackets. But that has been our show for today. We would like to thank our sponsors, GardenGrocer.com. If you're staying in the Orlando area at one of the Disney resorts, go ahead and place an order for groceries to be delivered to your room at the time of check-in. Save money and time by shopping with GardenGrocer.com. And not to forget UDiscover Florida. If you're looking for a restaurant, hotel, or just for something to do for fun this weekend, go ahead and give them a look on Instagram at UDiscover Florida. And once again, guys, I'm Chris Gonzalez.
And I'm Anthony Coleman.
And thank you guys for tuning back in to myGSPN's playoff preview. As always, you guys know it's your sports, all you, all the time.
Let's go, man.
We have the top 5 plays from the regional title games. Welcome back to Gonzo's Top 5. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Gonzo's Top 5 plays here at myGSPN. The show is brought to you guys by GardenGrocery.com and You Discover Florida, our beautiful sponsors. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us. Now, guys, I have broken down the top 5 plays from this past week, but before we get into all that action, I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you're following us along on all of our social media handles to stay up to date with the hottest coverage in high school sports, and check out our brand new website at www.myGSPN.com. Now, guys, it's time for the top 5 plays. I'm not going to hold you off any longer. Let's get into the action. Coming in at number 5, we have Apopka taking on Seminole. Jamari Jackson's going to get the handoff around the edge, and he already knows it's going to go to the house. Puts that hand up and brings it in for the Blue Darters touchdown. At number 4, we have Niceville taking on Edgewater. Will Coach is going to toss it up to number 8, Azaria Thomas, across his body, and despite the pass interference call, Thomas comes down with it and outruns the secondary for the score. Touchdown, Niceville. Making its way into the lineup at number 3, we have Jones taking on Vanguard. Jones quarterback Tyson Robbins is going to toss up a dime to junior wide receiver Aramani Roan in double coverage, who comes down with the toe tap, and then he's going to go ahead and raise the roof. Coming in at number 2, we have Edgewater taking on Niceville. Isaiah Connolly, you've seen him do this all year long. Breaking tackles up the gut, stiff arm, and he's off to the races, and he's going to bulldoze his way into the end zone for the touchdown for the Eagles. And finally, at number 1, we have Gaither taking on Lake Mineola. Tony Bartolo steps back and throws it up with confidence in double coverage to Speedy Pittman, who comes down with the amazing catch and walk away like it was absolutely nothing. This one right here needs to be on SportsCenter. Absolutely nasty there, guys. Well, that was our top 5 plays for today. Congratulations to everybody that made it onto the list, and we look forward to seeing these winners and the teams here